Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family, EEARTS family, Heart's Home family.
Oh, that's so nice. Heart's Home family. Hello.
I like saying that. Heart's Home, Heart's Home, Heart's Home, Heart's Home, Heart's Home.
Heart's Home, Heart's Home. It's almost like, hey, you guys, say toy boat 5 times in a row. See what you get.
Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat.
Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat.
We have to laugh, guys, because I mean, wow, there is so much going on, and it's kind of it's overwhelming to so many people. It's overwhelming to us to keep up with everything. Oh God, you got to pick and choose. And every time I get done with a video, I'll have somebody shoot me something and say, "Did you see this?" And I'll be like, "No." Holy cow! Please do check in at least once a day to all 3 places. And we did do the first video up on Heart's Home because honestly, I think we need to cope as much as anything. Keep prepared. And we do want to thank you guys that have been supporting us over on Patreon and also on Ko-Fi, where you could do one-time donation or monthly, just like you can by changing the number of coffees over on Patreon. Were you aware of what's going on in Chile? You know, this is the thing. It's like we're looking everywhere. We're looking up into the sky. We're looking at the train crash. You know, I've seen people saying it on both ends. I've seen an awful lot of people saying, why are we focused on these balloons and these quote-unquote UAPs, UFOs? We should be focused on this just enormous destructive event in Ohio. And then I've seen people saying, yeah, the event in Ohio is all about distracting us from the realization that there's UFOs all around our skies. I've seen it on both ends. Snowden came out and said that he thinks that the UFO UAP thing is just a distraction from everything else that we have going on right now. Guys, there's so much going on right now. You know, when we gave you what we saw for 2023, we said it's going to be more of the same, but it's going to be intensified and it's just going to keep increasing. You know, we would have loved to say, hey, guess what? You know, 2023, we're going to go back to a golden age immediately. There's going to be nothing to worry about. You know, don't worry. Everything's just fine. The white hat's got control. No, we can't do that because we know that's not the case. And so we tell you like it is, and people will sometimes say, you know, you're doom and gloom. You know, you guys are helping to manifest it. Well, this is going on whether we talk about it or not. You know, ask the people in Chile as you see this fire NATO going and burning on through. This is incredible what's going on right now across the planet. Look at these fires, forest fires raging in Chile. 45,000 hectares have been burned already. As you watch this, you know, the people all of a sudden realize, you know, I don't think it's safe where we are. Again, take caution. I can't tell you so many times. I mean, I think back to the volcanic explosion. Was it in, gosh, I can't remember now. Was it in Guatemala or was that the one over in the Philippines? No, I think it was in the Philippines. You know, they were used to this volcano going off. So, you know, they were just casually driving along and it overcame them. It overcame people. It engulfed them. So many didn't make it out. Again, err on the side of caution. When you see stuff like this, just get your butt out of there.
You know, one of the things you never really want to do is look at like a road that might be flooded out and just assume and think that your car, truck can make it past. Always err on the side of caution, especially if things are insane and you really can't get the full grasp of it. That's when you really want to slow down and just back away. Get yourself and your loved ones to a safe spot. I mean, I feel so sad for these people. There's probably their pets. I mean, they're having to decide what can I grab, if anything. Do I have time to grab something? I mean, imagine putting yourself in that place. That's so awful and horrible. It's sad. Let's send them some love and energy.
Yeah, and this is what we have gotten right along. And by the end of this year, the beginning of this year, it's going to be looking more like a breeze. It's going to keep ramping up because we are really, really, really getting into the thick of it. Really getting into the thick of it. And again, there's so much going on that we never see, doesn't make the mainstream news. And then there's a lot of things that are being just blown over, not covered. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of distraction going on, but where should we be looking? Well, how many eyes do you have? And you see, prayers please. Firefighters are battling for days to extinguish fires near Steenbras Dam that has now extended towards the Helderberg Mountains and Hottentots Holland Mountains in Sir Lowry's Pass. As you see, this photograph was taken moments ago. Yeah, there's fires all over the place. As you see these fires underway. This is another shot of that particular area. Here you have a person that's watching things saying, another fire? Is there any journalists looking at these fires? Again, we're looking at the UFOs, and we should kind of, the problem is all these things are legitimate. Here we have, WW hashtag number 3 is underway. It is underway. It's just a matter of how fast is it going to explode. And then we have all these things going on that, many people are not covering. This Moscow, this particular one, this is Scientific Research Institute of Precision Instruments. More than likely, this is part of the war. Now, there was another big fire over in Russia. And, again, another one that was obviously an infrastructure target. We have seen, anything to do with gas, electric, and again, we still have that warning out that the guides were saying by about March, they were getting the signal that one NUKE reactor could be a target. It was a high likelihood target for an accident, quote unquote. And, again, we're seeing so much rolling out right now so fast. You can't keep up with this. You really, really can't. All these fires underway, various reasons. Yeah. And again, now that I'm looking, and I always look at 46's tweets, but now it's interesting because when I'm looking at his tweets, it's almost like he's talking about the chaos. It almost feels like he's sending out signals about the chaos that's going on because, he says, because our climate investments, our kids will bring cleaner air. Breathe cleaner air? Really? Oh, yeah, really. Cleaner air. Sure. Yeah, the air's clean there. The air's clean here. Here it's clean. Yeah. Oh, our kids around the globe are going to be breathing cleaner air. Everything that you get from any official source, if you take the inverse, you're closer to the truth. Cleaner air, safer water, and get schools powered by clean energy. And the world is catching on, and it's making the entire world sick, and that's good. We should be sick of the leadership on the planet because they are the problem. Anyone that they come out endorsing, you need to never consider for any sort of position of relative importance when we go ahead, because this entire leadership on this entire globe, from the U.S. to Russia to the U.K., every single component of the UN, the WHO, the CDC, they're all the problem. And people are waking up to that fact. A woman 10 miles from East Palestine, Ohio, found all her chickens dead. And Cindy said, well, any signs of blood, because, hey, always coons and foxes and everything. No, it's again, our friend Joe, 155 miles from this, the next day was seeing animals that were acting weird, like they were poisoned and dying. So 10 miles away from the location, I'm not surprised at all. Again, this is, as somebody has said, this could be the American Chernobyl in a way. And I got to be thinking about this lady, because you breathed in everything they breathed in. Now, be careful of our pets and be careful of all your animals. Try to dissuade them from drinking any water that hasn't been purified, no matter where you are. So, if your dog's out there going to drink from a puddle, from a lake or river, and we have to, mind this ourselves because we love taking them out and they love to jump in the streams and the water, it's not going to be safe in a lot of areas. And a lot of stuff is not getting covered.
No, it's not, and there's one thing I heard about politicians, the surefire way to know if they're lying is when their lips are moving. And that's something that we really all need to keep in mind, because they're pushing this narrative. And quite frankly, I think it's a very unsafe narrative. Also, what I've been hearing a lot of is, oh, our fighter jets, they shot down balloons. It was just balloons. Oh, that must be the same as Roswell, So of course they're doing damage control, directing our minds to here, to there. The safest place to be right now to know what you need to do is going within. So when you do go within, those energies that need to reach you, your higher self that's trying to steer you, can actually find you. So again, that takes a whole nother precedence of importance to what it means to go within. To go within makes you safer. And look, they are doing everything they can to keep you looking outside. And I gotta say thank you to DJ. He's always sending me this stuff, and a person named the Architect sent something, and he says, in recent months we have seen massive attacks on food production, farming, agriculture, the power grid, and now water source to about a lot of people. If you can't see these events for what they really are, you never will. And this is how you cripple a nation during something that's about to happen that's really bad.
Absolutely. So buses replacing Metro North New Canaan branch trains after train derailment. I can't tell you how many times I rode on the trains in this area. Yeah, so another derailment here. New Canaan branch service temporarily suspended because of a non-passenger train that derailed near New Canaan, attempting to secure buses, but they are on the scene. I was having another one of my nightmares last night, guys. I was back at my old job, which was not far from here, and that's my nightmare. That's my hell realm. Being in the corporate world. Oh gosh, yeah. There's nothing that terrifies me more. I missed this one. Thank you, Brother Joe, because he said, "Did you see this?" He said, "This is not too far south of you guys." So yeah, an hour and a half south, and you have North Louisiana families evacuated after another train derailed. 130 people in North Louisiana were ordered to evacuate Saturday after a train derailed. At least 2 cars began leaking hazardous products. Union Pacific Railroad train derailed about 10:30 p.m. Friday in the DeSoto Parish town of Kiachi, about 30 miles southwest of Shreveport, Louisiana. Initial investigation revealed approximately 16 cars derailed. That's a pretty good-sized derailment. Guess what? It released a corrosive liquid. In the best interest of the public safety, a mandatory evacuation for everybody in a 1.5-mile radius was issued. They derailed 16 cars, and at least 2 are leaking an acid-related product. So you have a spokesperson for Union Pacific said 2 rail cars spilled propenic, I guess you would say, acid, which is used as a preservative, fungicide, and antimicrobial agent. Also used when making plastics, drugs, dyes, perfumes, explosives, and aspirin. So again, know what you're putting in your body. They put this stuff in explosives. They put it in plastics. Again, acid base, it goes in aspirin. This is why me personally, and Cindy will say sometimes if I have a whopper headache, which a lot of the headaches that I've gotten, which is really, really rare, are actually due to pineal expansion. So if you do feel a headache that's kind of like behind and right in between your eyes, it could be your pineal gland growing, just to share that with you guys. And it is uncomfortable at times. But in these times, it is to be expected if you are, again, trying to steer clear of the GMOs and all the toxicities out there. So hazardous crews went out there, again, to coordinate it. You think all this is just simply coincidence? BCSO responds to a fatal train injury near Big Springs Road. Somebody was hit. This is in Tennessee. Somebody was hit by a train, and you got to wonder, was it just, as somebody in the comments said, well, in Tennessee, it was probably just a hobo, just like the old days. And I know I'm a lot older than most of you guys out there. But, there was a thing where hobos would go on the slow riding trains. You hop on the train and then you take a ride and you get off later on down the tracks. Well, nowadays, again, you got to wonder, is it a sleeper cell? And, I don't know if you picked up anything on that, Cindy. No, okay. Inflation rose 0.5% in January, more than expected, up 6.4% from a year ago. So we still have things going up overall. Supercore service inflation, which is key for the Fed, excludes food, energy, and shelter, rose 0.2% for a month and was 4% higher than a year ago. It's the core stuff that is killing us because, again, we don't eat a ton. The dogs do. But when you go to the grocery store, and I think about it, like, holy cow. I mean, how is a family of 4 or 5 doing it? I have no idea. And shrinkflation and slackfill are coming for your Valentine's Day candy. Do yourself a favor and don't buy any of the store stuff. Make yourself something yummy. And I made I gotta toot my own horn. I made an amazing banana cream pie that I will pop up a photo to share with you guys. Everything from scratch, everything organic, amazing, and loaded with goodness. Organic blueberries and strawberries and organic bananas. And I used organic Greek yogurt again. And I put things in there like maca. Maca is something that is good for you. And we can make things that taste great and really still be nutritious. A lot of people were buzzing about this. It's been out there for days about the Christ the Redeemer statue in Brazil being struck by lightning, taking it as a sign. Oh, yeah, signs, more signs. But we don't even need the signs. We know what we're in. We're in the thick of it, guys. White House slammed for debunked claim on record deficit reduction. Yeah, just like Pinocchio. This is where I thought Cindy was going to go. I thought she was going to say, when they open their mouth, their nose grows.
Well, that's another way you can tell.
They have had to withdraw more than one tweet, more than one claim, because they lied. And they were caught lying.
Lie like rugs, they do.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. Keep lying, you'll never get any higher. So the EU Parliament votes to ban petrol car sales by 2035. They didn't share that there will be Anunnaki representatives in the smart cities at that time and at that particular date to be checking out what's going on, and they'll be watching firsthand what their controllers have been doing.
Yeah, just watching all those little minor details go on.
Yeah. Exactly. And again, you wondering about UFOs and UAPs and, still there's so much going on. United Airlines flight departing Hawaii for California in December, they're only letting us know now, plunged more than 1,000 feet right after takeoff and almost went into the Pacific. Now, they didn't say what it was. This was actually, from what I've gathered, just basically reading comments, people were talking about other times this happened a bunch of times recently. Recognize that there were certain dates for men that were put into place in regards to people that are piloting these things. And recognize that there's piloting shortages, and there's actually a whole bunch of new pilots being trained right now. So you have that. And then we have just, how do you know? And you guys are all probably right when you're saying things like, well, maybe the train derailments is the shifting ground because the Earth maybe is going through things. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We shared that we had, and we still do have piping problems going on. And the guy that was working on them shared with us, they've been incredibly busy. I do think there's a lot of shifting foundations going on. I do think there's a lot of earth movements going on. There's also a lot of sleeper cells being awakened. There's a lot of technologies in play. Yes, there's extraterrestrials in play as well. And then there's also just a lot of get you looking over here because there's some things they don't want you understanding over there. And there's too much to really cover it all in one day.
No, there really is. I mean, there's just it's overwhelming.
Thousands displaced by flooding in northern Syria after earthquakes triggered a dam breach. We were looking at that dam in Turkey, and here northern Syria is facing a dual humanitarian crisis. By the way, the numbers I saw now were over 33,000. Over 33,000, and I did have a comment where somebody thought we were exaggerating and saying, yeah, a couple thousand maybe. No, and I don't think that 33,000 is even close to accurate. I mean, you have entire cities gone. Gone. They're not even going to be rebuilding some cities and towns. They're just gone. This is massive. And this is also part of that bigger thing that's going on. As you know, what Cindy is feeling is that there's technologies in play and there's tit for tat. And you remember that odd earthquake that we saw just off the coast of Virginia. That felt like technology. You know, again, this is hang on tight. And so I know, Ram, it is sad. So Rama's, sharing his feelings there. So, you also have people that made it through, but now they're being evacuated because of this reason. And there's there's, as we were saying, I mean, the earth has changed over there. It's totally changed. This was massive. I do agree with those that say 7.8 seems low. This probably was much higher. And national state emergency declared as Cyclone Gabrielle causes widespread destruction across New Zealand's North Island. This is everywhere you look. 225,000 people without power. At least one person lost their life there. National disaster declared in South Africa. And this is widespread rains and floods that have been ongoing. Same basic system next door in Mozambique. 7 dead, thousands affected. Again, send out our prayers to everyone. And one of the strong messages we got is, again, we do feel sympathy for the migrants of the world. And when we talk about sleeper cells, again, that might be 1 out of every 1,000, might be 1 out of every 10,000 people that have crossed the border illegally. It still is a massive number. Yet those poor people that are migrants, in so many cases, they're victims of the system as well. And many of them are very, very angry. And you got to recognize what's going on that global scale. We are one humanity that has been taken advantage of by a diabolical system. Anchorage in Alaska has seen almost double its usual snowfall since December. Now, quite a few areas are experiencing a very, very mild winter. Everywhere we seem, it's kind of extreme. And here we have 2.9 million year old artifacts suggest ancient big tooth hominins, humanoid type beings, were making stone tools 2.9 to 3.3 million years ago. Our history keeps going farther and farther and farther back. And it's curious because when you look at this particular species, and this is in Africa, this species ate big game. It ate hippos. These are humanoid beings, right? Some of our quote unquote ancestral dead ends. And this is a depiction. They always depict them looking like, and Cindy's giggling, Paranthropus boisei. Do you know that their teeth were bigger than gorillas? This is kind of crazy. They say males averaged 108 pounds at about 4'6" tall, and females 75 pounds, but yet they had bigger teeth than gorillas and actually ate hippos. Something doesn't feel right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, it's the same story. They've been pushing this stuff all along, but we did talk about interesting beings over on Heart's Home. If you want to check that out, maybe there's something there.
Yeah, again, if and I know this is going up on EEARTS because of the earth change aspects, and there's some harder hitting stuff that we have for Evolutionary as we try to make EEARTS not as hard hitting, but my gosh, hey, we are in the middle of the apocalypse and it's ramping up. Here you see true love that knows no bounds of species. And again, if humanity could ever just learn from our pets, learn from nature, these poor guys survived the earthquakes and are now keeping each other warm. Their humans didn't survive. And this is given 31,000 confirmed dead in Turkey and another 4,500 in Syria. Yeah, when this is all said and done, this is probably going to be 6 digits that they're going to let us know about. There are actually some out there that say it's 7 digits. Again, we will never know. We really don't know how many people we lost to Harvey. We don't know how many people we lost to Katrina. We really don't. And we don't know even Maria and all these other storms. We just don't really know. And we never will. But all we can do is put out our best intentions and prayers. And we can... over on Heart's Home, we're sending out the intentions to ask for those beings that have helped us in the past, openly helped us in the past, to help us once again. As when we are in the golden age, the beings that are working with us are completely benevolent. They are not out for themselves. No. The beings that are dominant now, they are the ones that view humanity as slaves and view humanity as a resource and the entirety of the world as that. If you want love, you don't go to those guys. You could go to your pets any time. They'll love you right back. We need to pick each other up and recognize the divisive dogma for what it is, and whether that's political or religious ideology. Ultimately, it's up to us to change the system.
And send these babies some love, because hopefully somebody's feeding them and keeping them warm. And you can tell they were deeply loved at one point, and they're just so confused and they're so distraught, and but they're making the best of what they got with each other.
Absolutely. So may you guys all be blessed and protected in these times. Much love. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.